And you students are from what school?
St. James Guitar South.
And your name is?
Ella.
And yours?
Rory.
And?
Lily.
And?
Luca.
And?
Abby.
And Abby, where are you guys heading today?
We're going to Sydney to the Queen Victoria building.
And Luca, what's the purpose of your trip to Sydney?
The purpose of this trip is to find out about child detention and ways that we can end it.
What do you think about
What's your opinion on child detention?
Well, obviously they're going to be out.
The message of this extraordinary, powerful installation is that locking up children in detention centres is just plain wrong.
Community do to stop child detention?
What you can do, Lily, to help stop child detention is, first thing is if you've already done it, you've started asking questions, you've come down to an action that's all about stopping detention, and that's the first thing. So many people don't even know that children are in detention.
What are the conditions like in detention centres where the innocent children and their families are held?
Thanks, Rory. So, really different conditions depending on the centre. Lots of kids are detained on Nauru and on Christmas Island, which are really, really remote. Nauru is not part of Australia, it's another nation, it's a tiny island, it only has 10,000 people, so it's a really small community, and people are locked on Nauru in a camp full of tents. There's no buildings, there's no hospital, there's no school, it's tents, and that's what people live in indefinitely.
Do the children in these horrible detention centres get treated the same as the adults?
In some detention centres there's special staff who are trained to work with children, so they get some care, but it doesn't matter how good the carer is, or you could have the best teacher or the best social worker or the best pastoral carer, you're still stuck in detention. There's very little that person can do for you, even if they have all the good intentions and they want to, they can't get you out, and that's the thing that every child wants, is to get out.
If a pregnant mother comes to Australia and has the baby in detention, what is the nationality baby classified as?
That is a really, really, really good question. It's very tricky. So babies are born into detention every day. At the moment there's about 100 kids, babies, born in our detention centres. They don't belong to the country of the mother or father because they've fled. They obviously are born in an Australian hospital, so you would think they're Australian, but they're not issued with Australian birth certificate. So the hospital records their birth because they have to, so there's a record of the child, but the parents don't get a birth certificate for that child. So really, what we're creating is babies with no nationality. They don't have a right to be Australian, but they don't belong to their parents' country either. They're in limbo.
If the children become sick in detention centres, will they receive medical attention?
Every detention centre is a little bit different about what care is available. The bottom line is detention makes children sick, makes adults sick, whether that's physical sickness because the food's not very nice, or you're not getting enough exercise, or whether it's mental illness because you're depressed and sad and you're anxious and worried, and you see your parents anxious and worried. So it makes you sick. You can't make people better in the place that made them sick. So even if you have the best doctor and the best clinic, you got to get out, and you don't get out. About whether there is good treatment, the answer unfortunately is no. So in Nauru there's no dentist, there's no child doctor, no paediatrician. In Christmas Island, very, very limited. The psychiatrists don't visit very often. There's a doctor, there's a nurse. So, if you fell over, someone would take care of you. But if you were really sick and you needed hospital treatment, you'd have to come back to an Australian hospital and be treated in a hospital, not in the detention centre. So it's nowhere near the medical treatment that you would get if you were sick.
So you're back from Sydney. Lily, tell me, what is one thing that you think you'll be able to do about the child detention situation?
Well, we can make a cage that, like what we saw at Sydney, and then we can ask every child to bring in 1 or 2 dolls, old dolls from their house, and put it in, and then we can get the children to do what we did at Sydney. We can write to our local MP, Tony Abbott, Scott Morrison, and express our outrage.
Anything else, Rory?
Well, we can write an article for our school newsletter, and we can maybe write an article to our Catholic newspaper, the Aurora, to raise awareness.
Luca, what websites are available for children to visit where they can take action?
There is chillout.com.au and endchilddetention.com.au.
Thank you very much.